Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, greetings, salutation to a Remembrance Day, Armistice Day, whichever day it's called in your country, live stream. We will probably dodge most of it because some of it can be a bit, but you know. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to all the servicemen and women who have given their lives to protect and fight for the rest of us worldwide, whichever nation they happen to come from. And with that, let's get to the silliness. Howdy, Mark. Marquis Mark, Baron of Barras, Yeater of Yabbies. Hope you're doing well today, sir. And Mr. Yeller, how you doing? Oh, Yeller's going to be in lurk mode out in the middle of nowhere with the dog. He's out dogging again. Wouldn't surprise me. So, yes. Me and one other. So, yes, as I said, Remembrance or Armistice Day today. Mostly went well. There was a bit of a protest went on. I think that was yesterday. A lot of people got arrested. Thankfully, they didn't get their moment on TV. Basically, a lot of people who don't know their history. Yeah. So, Bun. Huggle. Big huggles to little Bun. That nearly came out as Bum, but it was meant as Bun. Unless, of course, you don't mind me calling you Bum. Then I'm easy either way. You all know me well enough. So yes, what we've been up to this week? Work. Oh, always welcome to a huggle. You can have a kissy as well. Oh, Mark, don't get jealous. You can have a hug and a kiss as well, Mark. You know that. So yeah, water changes, work, just general stuffs this week. Realised kind of late on Friday that I didn't do a video last week, so I'd better do one this week. So it was basically just a fish room tour, nothing overly interesting. But, well, it all depends what you find interesting. I'm just trying to figure out what the heck these shellies are chasing around bits of. Don't think it's bits of the dead shelly. Don't see anything floating. On the upside, though, those who may have watched the video may have spotted that there is a black neon, a rather small black neon in the tank behind me. Now, the black neons I had were all pretty much fully grown before they all disappeared slowly over time. So, pretty sure I've accidentally bred black neon tetras as well now. Oh well. Hey, one counts. That means you bred them. Jeez. Good morning. Yes. Yeah, it's not really been that exciting a week. I've been, got to admit, it's one of them weeks where trying to figure out things like Christmas and birthday presents for Mary, and then using the AI art image generator thingy to generate more nightmare fuel. Trying to figure out the various ways around its safe filters, because I want my nightmare fuel nightmarish, not cutesy. Brian, darling, how are you? Happy Remembrance Day to you too. Watching some endurance racing, catching up on other races I've missed, which reminds me, the 8 hours of Bahrain went up today, so I can watch that. Yes, I know, I'm sad. I'll watch 8-hour-long races, motor races. But hey, they're more interesting than Formula One, which is more interesting than NASCAR or IndyCar. Right up there with Aussie supercars. How do Linkbot? Yes, I do always say hello to Linkbot. Hey, they're here. I haven't figured out a gender yet. The computers have genders. I mean, they're binary. So technically they should have. We might have to rely on the French for that one because they give genders to everything. So whether a computer is male or female in French, I don't know. Don't jump, Shelley, just because I coughed. Jeez. Still very sleepy. You nap when you want to nap, Bun Bun. Naps are awesome. I didn't have a nap yesterday, but I did have a very good nap today. Can't rely on a French. Yeah, just leave it blank. Maybe we can all fill that one in. Yeah, anything. They're usually pretty good when it comes to gendering things. They decide that something's something and they stick with it. They don't like change too much, the French. Not since the whole revolution thing, anyway. And the off with the Reds. But as there isn't a royal family left in France now, they can't really go back to that way of thinking. French is just weird. Why the French? I'm not quite as weird as French Canadians because they can't make up their mind whether they're French or Canadian. Don't know whether it'd be arrogant or nice. Is it possible to be politely arrogant? I don't know. Oh, yes, you have my sympathy for that, Mark. I've done the whole dry retching thing, not for the same reasons, but Mr. Undertaker, hello, good P.O. pal. Hello yourself. And thank you. It's not something we kind of celebrate. In the UK, I think probably the whole of Commonwealth, the 11th of the 11th is a day of, let's say, remembrance of all the people that have died. So we don't really sort of celebrate. It's all very somber and very sort of stirring, haunting music and things like that. It's, you know how we Brits do, pomp and circumstance. Yes, Undertaker back from the deed. They've been doing Hell in a Cell matches again. Yeah, so this time of year, if you, I know what you meant. Thank you very much, Bun. Is it Veterans Day today in America? Do you have your Memorial Day in, is it May, and then Veterans Day today? I know it's one or the other. Okay, Undertaker's having some slight spelling issues. Good job, I haven't got the filters switched on. Yesterday was Veterans Day. Is it the 12th today? Yeah, it was the 11th yesterday. Yeah. So yeah, we have Armistice Day and Remembrance Sunday, and they generally fall either on the same day or right next to each other. And so for us, it's all those that have given the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, basically. Fighting wars for oil or other silly reasons. Yeah, I do too, Mark. I always do that. Stand in silence and take a minute to literally just remember. I've got to admit, I don't watch the service because I don't want to spend half the morning blooding my eyes out about the entire futility of war and the pointlessness of it and the military-industrial complex and all that rubbish. Why can't we all just be friends and get along? Make for a much nicer world anyway if we did. Yeah, I understand at the service in the UK there was a protest about Palestine and a protest about Israel, and they kind of ended up in the same place. Wobble Monster! Or Ram Master Rye, as I also call you. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any Wobble Monsters, but I think I've got enough bristle noses to cover that. All veterans, yeah, I'd say we sort of lump it all together, really. We don't really have a Veterans Day as such. It's the amount of wars the UK's fought over the centuries. It's a lot of remembering to do. Yeah, I say it's always a very sad time, and it's hard to really pin down sort of the emotions and the feelings. You're kind of sad but proud, and it's a weird combination. A Wobble Monster is what I call, I call things by the wrong names on purpose just to upset people. Well, let's pronounce it correctly. A Waben Monster is a type of bristly nosed pleco, and it's spelled Waben monster. So yeah, I just call it a Wobble Monster. It's just me being silly. It's not some big blancmange demon or jelly demon, which would probably be more apt. I might actually have to type Wobble Monster into the AI app and see what it comes up with. Given some of the weird things it has come up with, You know, you type in all sort of scary, nasty terms, get some big evil spider demon, venom dripping, and all this kind of thing. And you end up with like that tiny in the background and a naked woman on an altar. And you think, I didn't ask for a naked woman on an altar, but thank you. It's just like, what? But then if you type in naked woman on altar, oh no, we have conservative filters and we cannot possibly show you this. What the frick? You did 5 minutes ago. Yeah. AI. Dumb AF. Yeah. My strange sense of humour. That's probably the best way to put it. Yeah. Some of the weird stuff I end up laughing at. Yeah, people falling over. People getting hit in the nuts. That's always funny. But people farting in public. Although on a mass departure from that, we were having a bit of a natter yesterday at work and we couldn't really figure out an answer. Now, I understand if no one wants to answer this because, you know, it's kind of personal and you might be giving away more about yourself than you want to. But here we go. Just link past to hit the like button. As you may know, there are certain kinds of plugs that one can insert into bodily orifice. Normally kind of acorn shaped with a broad base and a bit of a jewel at the end, maybe even a tail. You know what I'm talking about. Well, if you've got one of those in and you need to fart, does it sneak out down the edge down the side and squeak real high pitch, like a trumpet or something? Or does the pressure build until it just blows the plug out? We were talking about, we couldn't really work it out. There's none of us had any experience. But if you have any ideas, let me know. I would have thought that it's not going to seal, so there's chances are you're probably going to get a squeaker. But if it does seal, it's going to come out like a shotgun and make quite the mess. And you don't want to be doing it if you're wearing a skirt or shorts. What would I call that? What would the Latin name be? Buttus pluggy eye. Yeah, that'd be the Latin name for a squeaker. Yeah, instead of a low, rumbly, squelchy fart, a high-pitched, squeaky one, because it's coming out of a very confined, small area, rather than a full hole where it's just clapping the cheeks. Oh, and if you're having a good fart and you cross your legs, it will sound like a duck. Don't ask me how I found that one out. Yes. How to get the subject away from millions of people dying. Anyway, yeah, it's just one of those things that dawned on me. I was like, I just thought, and I was like, yeah, what would happen? And what if it, like, you're out in public and it does blow it out, and then it like rattles down your leg and lands on the floor? How do you cover that one up? So you're standing on the bus, going along. Oh dear, I need to fart. Oh, clunk. Kick it under its seat or something. I don't know. Bend down, pick it up. Is this anybody's? I have no idea what you'd do. It's not something I've ever actually encountered. And no, I'm not going to go get one off of Amazon and find out. Yeah, that was the other thing, because there's a lubricant involved, which is going to make things slippery, and it's going to stretch things somewhat. So if you fart hard enough to blow it out, other stuff's likely to follow it as well. And no one wants to find sweet corn skins on the floor of the bus or peanut kernels. It's just, yeah, it just strikes me as a bad idea all around, really. But apparently, some people do it. Yes, it's just the way my mind works, Bum. Some of the conversations we have at work, I mean, they probably wouldn't exist if it weren't for me, but yeah, we single parachute. As long as this is 20 gauge, it won't be too bad. You wouldn't want a 12 bore or a 4 bore. Oh dear. Blow a 4 bore out, there'd be no hope. Evening, Debs. Yeah, you don't have to wonder where you are in the conversations like this, do you? Welcome to Fish Round, where we talk about plugs. Oh dear God. Yeah, just one of those random thoughts I had. It just popped into my head when I was serving a customer. I did wait for the customers to leave the shop. Don't worry. Perhaps subconsciously I knew that the customer had one in. Perhaps I was standing in a certain way. It's not like I've got experience of seeing people with them in. Anyway, moving on. Is there anything I can move on to? I can't really go downhill, can I? Fishy wise, yes, everyone doing well. Yo-yo loaches are still in there for quarantining. No sign of any illness. They're scooting about like nutters. Weather has finally turned cold in the UK. I almost needed to put jeans on the other day, or yesterday. Thankfully I didn't, because I would have baked at work because someone turned the heating on. And the way I figure it, it's far better to be a bit chilly for 10 minutes cycling to and from work than it is to be cooking for 6 hours at work. But yes, it's the time of year and the weather where people start looking at me weird for a different reason. Aren't you cold? How are you not cold? You must be frozen. No. No, I'm just well insulated, used to it, and probably got blood like treacle. So no, I'm not cold. It's just me. Yeah, we are getting to. Oh, it froze last night, for example. So it was freezing when I came home from work in my shorts and t-shirt. Although I did stop off and get chips on the way home. Well deserved and delicious. Battered jumbo sausage and chips with salt, vinegar, and mayonnaise. Delish. And no, I didn't have ranch because we don't have ranch in the UK. I'm not even sure what ranch is. I think it's a mixture of ketchup and mayo, but which we would just call fake Mary Rose sauce. Yes, Debs, you can't go wrong some nights, can you? Sometimes you just got to have a chippy. It's a good filling meal that doesn't cost a lot. So when for £4.10 I can get the small chips and a jumbo sausage, and it's usually far too much for me to sensibly eat. I can make myself eat it, but I then have a food coma for a few hours afterwards. Yeah, it's on the grand scheme of things, it's probably the most value for money meal out, as it were, you can have, or fast food you can have. I have no idea what a McDonald's costs these days, but they don't fill you up for more than about 5 minutes. That's why the drinks are so big. By the time you've got through the eighth of a portion of chips and the half-sized burger, and yeah, it's just a massive glass of Coke to see, or cup of Coke to see you going. But I don't go to McDonald's very often. Maybe once every 5 years, or something like that. If we had a Burger King in town, I'd probably go there far more often, but that's because they do proper sized burgers. A Big Mac is pathetic. Yeah. Two like the small economy sized burgers that you buy, like used to be like £8 for £1, and a bit of a bun, some soggy lettuce, some fake cheese, and that's about it. It's like 4 mouthfuls and gone. I want at least 2 quarter pounders in there, if not 3. But there we go. I'm a piggy, and that's why I'm the shape I am. Well, I am kind of semi-debating going on a bit of a diet. Let's see how we go. It wouldn't hurt to lose a few stone. Might actually make the cycling a bit easier. Well, I mean, the uphill. The downhill would be harder, because I'll have less weight pulling me down the hill. Pardon me. But there we go. And yes, the longer cycle rides are on hold until we either get a few warm days in December, which we normally do. Whether they're dry or not remains to be seen, or like spring next year. It's not because it's cold or it's dark or it's just generally wet and miserable, and I can wear the right clothes to keep me dry and warm, but even whatever gloves you're wearing or whatever shoes and socks you're wearing, your feet and hands still get cold. And I've had chilblains before, so I don't want them ever again. I ate McDonald's every day for a whole year when I worked there in 81. Yeah, I say Mary's son Adam used to work at McDonald's, and he ate McDonald's every day because he got it for free. And yeah, now he don't eat McDonald's anymore. He had enough of it. And he spent a couple of months, I think he was a Domino's delivery driver, so he's kind of not too fond of pizza anymore either. It was young then, yes, before they, well, we've got to keep the prices the same because otherwise people won't buy it, so we'll have to lower the quality of all the ingredients. Although if you look at there's plenty of videos online comparing a UK McDonald's to a US McDonald's, and just the list of ingredients in the fries is ridiculous. Ours is literally potatoes, salt, oil. US list has got like, I'm probably over exaggerating, but like 30 bloody ingredients. Really? It's chips. And it's skinny chips at best. The ones that turn to cardboard after 2 minutes, or after 5 minutes, and then after 15 minutes, they turn into a soggy, inedible mess. Well, hello, Miss Adele. How are you, my dear? My wonderful red-headed friend. And a good day as well. Hang on, let's do it proper Aussie style. Good day, Sheila. Yes, I know that was very bad. Oh, wait, throw coffee. Wait, don't throw coffee. It'll burn. Ah. Yeah. Used to work at Hardy's at roast beef top, right? Your fast food place. This is maybe yeah. So that's probably basically what we call a pub. Or a carvery, perhaps. Yeah, we tend not to have quite as many fast food joints in the UK. Certainly outside of the big cities. Other than Chippies, which in Attleborough we got what, 1, 2, 3. We got at least 5 chip shops in Attleborough, which is a town of around 20 to 30,000 people, and they're always busy. And we've got like a couple of Chinese's, an Indian. We've got Domino's now. Not that I ever go in there. You know, it's not something you eat every day. It's something you have like once a week or once a month. Oh, Mark's going to risk a coffee. Oh dear. Oh dear. At least you won't be dry heaving. That'll be wet heaves. I don't actually know if that's an improvement or not, because coffee doesn't taste good the second time. Yeah, a good milky one. Milky. Pardon me. And that was probably the absolute worst thing to say at that point, knowing where that quote comes from. It's not talking about tea or coffee. It's talking about something else that dispenses milk. Bill got it. Ah, dear. Yeah, sometimes I can't help myself. At least I didn't go with Bitty. That's one of the grimmest sketches ever. Don't Google it. But yeah, if you're having intestinal fortitude issues and having a rough clue of some of the tablets you're taking, Mark, coffee is probably not the best idea. But yeah, as Adele says, make it a good milky one, and one step closer to monetization. Requirements now match the state's 500 subs, 3,000 watch hours. Ooh. So we can pay to see Adele. I still say you should do the OnlyFans. Definitely get more viewers and the skinny little wenches that are mostly on there. Merritt, my darling, my love. Mwah. How are you? Speaking of people whose OnlyFans I would subscribe to, Pay-per-view, yeah, that's the Origami World Championships. But I know that's an old joke, but anytime I see pay-per-view, that always comes to mind. And I think if they did an Origami World Championships and it was televised, they should call it pay-per-view. And 20 years ago, it would have been hosted by Rolf Harris. Can you tell what it is yet? Doing good, keeping an eye on Iceland. Oh dear, stuff going on in Iceland again? Are we talking civil unrest or volcanoes going boom? I'm a bit out of the loop this week, as usual. Still need like 800. You will get there. You will get there, Del. Trust me. If I can get there, you can get there. Things that go boom. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing too bad. And nothing comes Oslo's way. The last thing you need is another ash cloud. Last thing any of us need is another ash cloud. Magma's on its way big time. But is this going to be a volcano anyone can actually pronounce? I got kind of close with the last one. I don't think it was correct, but close enough that people actually believed me anyway. When even the Icelandics call it the Big E because they don't want to pronounce the name, you know it's a bad one. Plans to make money, visit kids, going to chop my hair next year. That'll definitely get views. Oh, that hair. That'll still get views. So, I don't think so. I'll be able to, but the rest of the world, yeah. I think the closest I got to the last one, the bad one, was Eyjafjallajökull Club, something like that. It's because and the only reason I got remotely close is because I can speak some Welsh as well. I want to get monetized to do that, so I've got a few months. Righty-ho. Ideas for Adele to make some videos that will get lots and lots of views and lots of watch time that don't involve nudity. Oh, go away, Windows security. Yeah, do have length requirements. Yeah, you don't want to be bald afterwards. Yeah, 12 inches. Well, I mean, it's down past your butt, so you could probably do 2. You could probably do 2 feet and still have sort of shouldery, just above shoulder length hair. I don't know. But yeah, I'll say some story time is always good. Oh, well, unfortunately, Narrett, you missed the conversation about butt plugs. I even say it and I fart. Long story short on that one, if you've got a butt plug in and you fart, does it squeak or do you blow the plug out? That was. Don't answer if you know the answer. If anyone does know the answer, message me and I will keep it secret. I'll say I found out, but I won't say who told me. Yes, Adele. What? Can't miss stuff like that. I was kind of glad because I thought you might know the answer as well. I thought, yeah, it's probably best to say it before Marek gets there. You'd be happy you have hair. Found a wad of it in the bath yesterday. Yeah, but was it yours? Sorry, I know. I shouldn't be making hair jokes at the moment. And yeah, it happens to me as well every time. Every time I have a bath, I have to declog the hair mat out of the drain. You can message me. Oh, and if you've got video, that'd be even better. But you know, oh god, what have I let myself in for? Yeah, so mine's. I think it's getting longer, but it's falling out as quick as it's growing. Might be the treatment. Yeah, I've got a funny feeling it might be the treatments you're taking, Mark. It's they are apparently known to have hair falling out as a side effect. Funny, there ain't much left of mine. Oh, it's long enough now that I could comb it forward and have a fringe. And yes, that is a blonde streak in the back. And no, it's not dyed in. It's from when I knocked myself out many, many years ago. Haha, Mr. Moist Hose, evening Al. Speaking of which, I had that the other day. When I was doing water changes, I accidentally managed to spill a load of water all over my feet. It wasn't good because I was wearing my socks and my slippers, so both were wet. So maybe like a couple of days I had soggy slippers. Too early to tell yet. Doc seems happy with how it's going. Excuse me. That's all. Hopefully, caught early enough and you'll get through it. And as Adele says, we know you're strong. Stay strong. Keep fighting, and we are all here for you. Oh dear, you're lagging. Yeah. Big fish fan group hug for Mark. Nabo, how you doing? Greeting, salutation, itchy nose. Over there. Unfortunately, well, I can't do anything about either end, but hey, blame Iceland or Sweden. Yeah, blame Sweden. That seems a good idea. Or Denmark, one of them. And what's Denmark ever done apart from bacon, butter, and Sandy Toksvig? Oh, and the Laudrup brothers who used to play football. I think that's about it. I can't think of much else that came out of Denmark other than Vikings, and we all know what they did. They came over to the UK and they settled. And a certain one by the name of Eitling made a bridge which is now called Attlebridge. It was actually part of the Marriott's Way when I cycled. And then he decided to settle in a place that got named Eithlingersburg, which became Attleborough over the years. So yes, I live in a Viking settlement. One of the things that especially this part of the UK, most of it is Viking settlements. Viggo Mortensen. That was it. Was he Danish? I thought he was Norwegian. What was that movie he got naked in? There was one where he did a full frontal nude. Can't remember what it was. I wasn't paying too much attention. When is my Temu video coming? Don't you love Temu robots? Temu, PepsiCo, Hershey. Yeah, no, I like having my money in my bank account, not in someone else's. There have been a lot of issues with Temu and money vanishing from people's accounts, allegedly. Very allegedly, lawyers. Yeah, I'm not in the. How do I put this without? Because there are some people I know who are friends that have done videos on Temu stuff. I'm not in a position to buy a bunch of pointless tat that I'm gonna just end up going, this is rubbish, and throw in the bin. Fish and Outdoors with Lando. Howdy, Lando. How you doing? And you Higer. That way you can't mispronounce it, Sharpe. Call it Higer. I've looked at Temu and it's just ridiculous. It's like you see the prices and you know it's just going to be awful. Maybe something like, I don't know, cable ties or string, but nothing you might actually want to use. And it's probably all made out of. Excuse me. Yeah, I rather wish over Temu. Yeah, I'll stick to Amazon. Thank you very much, Lando. I'll tell you what not to do. I found out the other day. This is a new one for me. Don't sneeze and burp at the same time. That's real messy. But yeah, I'll stick to Amazon for my tat. I'm a firm believer in you get what you pay for. If you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Yeah, I have been looking at a bunch of random stuff on Etsy as well. There is some very cool models on Etsy. Although again, that's some really random. But I was scrolling through like demon models and stuff, and came across that's a bad choice of words. I think the description was cute dinosaur with massive milkers. I think was the description. Someone's basically 3D printing T-Rexes with huge boobs. I mean, I'm not one to kink shame, but what? Mum bought both of us some gorgeous blouses from Temu. Well made and very inexpensive. It just depends on what you're getting. Yes. I'm assuming that is a way to get around content filters. I take it you're not familiar with that term, but you are now. Um, and Sam prefers smaller boobs. Just boobs in general are good, as long as they're on a woman. I don't like man boobs. Too furry for my taste. Hair gets stuck in your teeth. Don't know what we're talking about here. Gaming service is terrible at the dog park. Don't be spicy. Well, I say it's one of them things where you have days where, let's just say, you're daydreaming and fantasizing a little because you're bored at work and there's nothing better to do, and you might think about firm and perky little boobies, and another day you might be thinking, oh, big soft wobbly boobs. Yeah, it's mine aren't either, but fortunately that they don't arouse me. Um, yeah, menopause, as I've said before, I'm just open about it. Exactly, Adele. There's always exceptions to the rule. I we did actually. I said we. I did actually measure. I'm a 42B, technically. But there we go. Yeah. Well, there's one of my younger female colleagues wasn't entirely sure how to measure for a bra, so I showed her, and it was like, "How and why the hell do you know how to measure for a bra fitting?" It's like, doesn't everyone? Exactly, not just a woman. Yeah. Um, how do you not know how to measure for that? How did you get to like 20 odd and not know how to measure yourself? Hello, Brian. Welcome and good evening. And I apologise for the content. Um, it's just the way my streams go. I start out with every intention of talking about fish and fish keeping and the wonderful world and wildlife, and somehow it always ends up going down the toilet, quite literally. Um, get back to fish. Um, I can actually segue back into fish from kind of the story because you people get the Japanese or the kaiju character tattoos, and they think they mean something and they mean something completely different because tattooists have a sense of humor. Um, Apparently, there's a girl walking around with what she thinks is courage tattooed in an area that would otherwise be furry, but it actually says fish. It does make you wonder what the tattooist was sniffing. Um, Wonder what to get to put with my male guppies in my 30 gallon. Something to go with male guppies. Not any other form of female life bearer, that's for sure, because there will be graping going on. What goes on with guppies? I mean, guppies aren't going to be giving birth, so you haven't got to worry about something that's going to eat the fry. 30. I don't know. I'd be kind of tempted with some gouramis. Some of the red or blue ones, the powder blue gouramis, something like that. What what is the sort of main colour of the guppies? Those sort of bluey, reddy. Because if you went with something that was also a similar colour, then that would enhance the colour scheme of the tank and make things pop. Yellow snakeskin, so something yellow. L144 bristle nose. Don't get much more yellow than that. Yeah, I think they've got blue sheen, so it might be nice to pick out the blue. Maybe EBA. If you get an EBA that's a bit of an arse, and then might munch guppies. You know me, I would probably suggest one of those guys. They might get a bit big for a 30, but you know what I think about overstocking. Like, how gorgeous would one of them be swinging around with a bunch of yellow and blue snakeskin guppies? Because you've got the orange on the fins, which would go well with the yellow, or some Corydorus aenus albino, some albino cories. They're basically yellow as well. And plus, cories are always cool. And they'll clear up all the food that the guppies miss. Turn over the substrate nicely. What else? Maybe some rasbora. So if you've got the guppies, you want something that's going to be spending most of its time near the bottom. So yeah, cories. And then maybe a centerpiece. An apistogramma or other dwarf cichlid male. This is not going to bother any of the adult guppies. And you're not going to have babies, so it's not going to be munching on them. What the ones I had the yellow. Apistogramma McMasteri. Pair of those. That'd do you down to the ground. Especially when the females get their breeding colours on, they go bright gold. So it all depends on what's available in your part of Oz. You're going to have to take a trip to Tech Den and see what they got. Yes. Just no yellow labs. Please, no yellow labs. And that's another one I have to be careful how I pronounce. Libidachromis. Because I got it wrong once and called them Labiachromis. Oh dear, cough and fart at the same time. That's never healthy. Yeah, there you go. There'll be some extra watch hours. Streaming and went, that one. Get that one. They are pretty, but they will destroy a planted tank and they will eat the guppies. Yeah. What did I think of my black neons? Would I recommend them? What do I think of them? They're like neons, but they're black. Would I recommend them? And they seem to be hardier than the standard red and blue neons. They're still all X neons. Although whether that was predation from someone else or being a bit shy and not getting to the food because of the Limia cloud or whatever other reason. But yeah, so that black neon that showed up in the video, which is actually sitting right there still, there he is. That's actually one that I accidentally bred, apparently, because the ones I had were full grown. That was not full grown. So yes, somewhere down the line there was a baby. Went to the shop yesterday. Love going to what should be a tragedy. Fish keeping is one of the nicest fish stores and sections I've ever seen. Got to see silver tip tetras for the first time. Interesting to see where I had to spend so much. Yeah, black skirt tetras are cool. Got 20 long. Realizing I need to say 20 long and not 20 out. It's all right. I know you're American. Don't worry. I'm kind of used to it. So yeah, 20 long is cool. Perfect shelly tank. Because you've got more floor space and less height. And shellies generally don't need height. It's only me, it seems, has got the weird ones that like swimming at the top, which ironically they aren't at the moment, and there's a bunch of food floating around on the top. So I don't know. Yeah. Plan for plants only as a stem template shrimp. Have I ever done plants only? Only with a brand new tank before I put fish in it. But my way of doing it is I use the fish waste to feed the plants. So the plants without the fish waste tend to die. And yes, I'm aware that light is turning itself off. It's because the clock's changed and I haven't changed the timers on the lights. 2.5 foot long, 12 inch, or foot deep. Yeah, perfect shelly tank. That yarn's been plants only for a long time. 9 male guppies in it now. I mean, and here's where I'll upset people, because my way of setting up a tank is put your substrate in, your rocks, your filter, your heater, stick your plants in, you fill it up, you replant the plants with some weights around them, hold them down. You give it a day to come to temperature and settle. Then you clean out a pleco filter into it, and then you start adding fish. That's the way I set up a tank anyway. It might not work for everyone. And if I didn't have the pleco filters, I'd still do it the same way. The thing is, yes, you get the ammonia, which starts a cycle thing happening. But if you start out with 1 or 2 fish, say a 30-gallon with half a dozen guppies, they're not going to produce enough ammonia to kill themselves before the tank has a chance to cycle and deal with it, and the plants will take it up as well. So yeah, I'm not one for ghost feeding or rotting shrimp or adding ammonia or all these other things. Quick and dirty works for me, and I've not lost a fish yet due to new tank syndromes or anything like that. Yeah, so the amount of fish poop I generally have in my tanks, I don't need to bother, and snail poop. Ordered plants last day in September. Still don't have an ETA from the shop. When I asked, I said, "Can I change your plant selection?" And they plan to order soon. Yeah, so they're taking orders for things they don't have. Yeah, that's not exactly ethical. What To me, what they should have done is you sent your order in good faith because they were saying they had stock. What they should have done is email you saying, "Sorry, we're out of stock of this at the moment. Would you like some of this instead?" And then suggest something similar. Uh, or would you like a refund and maybe reorder later? Highly recommended shop too. Yeah, it might just be the time of the year. I don't know. I'm assuming most places. I know in the UK money is tight at the moment because of the ridiculous inflation and cost of living and blah blah blah. So people aren't buying things like plants and fish and tanks when they're struggling to buy food, and especially coming up to Christmas, that horrific time of the year. I mean, there's actually been complaints about the Marks and Spencer's Christmas advert this year because it's basically saying, "Oh, you don't have to spend all this money and do all these things. No, you don't." Basically, it's saying don't put yourself into debt for a roast meal. Their policy is everything is a pre-order. Pre-order only can be refunded for store credit. That's not how that works. I'm pretty sure legally that's not how that works. I mean, if it says it's pre-order only, then that's kind of fair enough. But that just strikes me as someone sitting at home, wait until they got a bunch of orders, then order the stock in and send it straight out. That sounds like more like it should be a thing on Etsy than a thing on, you know, a shop. I mean, like, if I was to order a 3D printed figure on Etsy, yeah, I might expect to wait a few days because they might have to print one. You know, and these things don't necessarily print that quickly, especially when you're talking sizable statuettes and busts and things, spider queens and dinosaur with massive milkers. Laughing, there's a jeweler's advert here about leaving the price tag on, so I appreciate the low prices. Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly. Why would he spend so much? Oh, he spent too much. That's what that's about. I mean, admittedly, I have accidentally left on a price tag or two in the past because it happens. Um, these days, thankfully, most things don't actually have a price tag on them. It's all barcode scan, so you might have my address label on the box, but yeah, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Probably a good 75% of the plants listed they don't actually have. So what they're doing is they're posting their suppliers list of what their supplier sells, not what they sell. Um, I'm not saying it as a name and shame. Might be a good idea to let people know though who it is, just so they can be aware. And there's only 9 of us here anyway, so you know, and a couple of Aussies, a couple of Brits, and a Norwegian. So it's probably only 1 or 2 actually other Americans that would find it. But yeah, that does sound rather shady to me. As I say, I can imagine, I can understand it on Etsy when things are being handmade to order, but not for an actual shop. That's basically you're paying them a markup for them to order it and ship it to you. TC from a company local, SoCal company selling UNS ADA and TC plants. So yeah, Southern California isn't going to be a problem for most of us. It's one of those things I do make sure I look at whenever I order anything online, where it's coming from. Having done that before, I ordered a model from a company, a very reputable company, don't get me wrong, and there was nothing wrong with the model or anything. It's just I didn't realize where they were because the website is in perfect English. It came up with prices in English. The whole address thing was for an English address. They were in Korea. And it wasn't shipped airmail because I didn't want to pay as much as the model cost for the shipping. So it took like 2 months to turn up. And randomly one day I got a box turn up. I was like, what the hell was that? Other assumption is the shop doesn't take off things. Yeah. That does happen. My main experience of that is from like Amazon, but generally what happens is because it's either an absolute pig to delist and relist, or you get charged for it, but you can change the price for free at any time really easily. So if you see something like 1/72nd scale Airfix Spitfire, £1,435, yeah, it just means they're out of stock. Yeah, one way or other, it sounds like you're being jerked around, and it's not the kind of thing I would recommend. Full circle chain of stupid alternator system is a company in my state, very local, can't buy anything from them easily at all, and have it shipped. Not Amazon, nothing. If I was in EU or Japan, I could. Yeah, that sounds about right. We have international shipping. Yeah, but not national. Local. Can I even come pick it up? It's like Tropico, can't buy them here. Yeah, I'll say over here, Tropica is what you'll find in Pets at Home, which is like our version of PetSmart, basically, or Petco, whichever one. So yeah, you go in there and it's mostly fluval tanks, or it was. I don't know what they're selling now. I think it might be, is it Aqua L, something like that. Yeah, it used to be fluval tanks, Tropica plants, fluval filters and heaters. And given the price of the tanks in the UK anyway, yeah. We get fluval. Fluval says dead mossballs. Well, I'm quite like anyone wants to put balls of algae in their tanker to start with. I have no idea. Well, a mossball's got algae on it. It is algae. It's not moss. It's a cladiform algae. But they wouldn't sell if they called them algae balls or green fluffy balls. Or that's the thing with mossballs, as it were. You're probably better off buying fake ones. Because I did buy some once or twice, and in my experience, they just kind of fall apart and turn to mush. That might be due to bristlenoses eating them, though. That's kind of a thing in my tanks. Is if it's edible to a bristlenose, it gets eaten. Well, I'm kind of appreciating the wall art I've got in the Shelly tank with various different algae that are growing on the back of it. And I'm kind of leaving them because they're kind of cool. And, you know, they're taking up some nitrates, so I ain't complaining. But yes, I never really even understood what mossballs were for. What do they accomplish? I mean, if you got a decent flow in the tank, they all end up basically stuck in the corner. What's in the this? About 150 bristle noses. Terry's tropical tanks. Are they selling mossballs again? Yeah, they are. Yeah, they got banned for the, was it blue or swan mussels? There was a flavour of mussel in them. Yeah, they didn't ever get stopped over here because, you know, yeah, much tighter laws on those kind of things. Accomplish spreading random algae through your tanks here, forever pulling algae strands out of the gravel. Yeah, zebra mussels. Well, zebra mussels are native in the UK, so that's not a problem. And they struggle to outcompete the swan mussels. And the carp and tench will eat them. Oh, Danny boy. How you doing, Dan? Hope all is well. Up there in sunny Scotland. At least the midges have gone now. Yeah, so that's like, we got fish in our lakes and rivers and streams. Well, not streams, but rivers and lakes that eat swan mussels, which are way bigger and tougher. Seasons have changed and the bugs disappear. Yeah. Either the buzzy, bitey kind or the ones that make you ill. That's why I like a good frost or two. If you get a good few frosty days, it tends to kill off all the colds and various other bugs that go around at this time of year. Hope all well, Dan Saf. I'm not Dan Saf. I'm out in the east. I'm an Easterling, an Anglian, where the name England comes from. Blowies are starting up, blowflies. So if you've got random blowies turning up, no, that sounds a good reason to move. Anglian living in a Viking settlement, yeah. Except I'm not actually Anglian. What would I originally? But yeah, I'm originally a southerner. Oh, what kingdom would? I suppose technically I'm originally what would be a Saxon. But I've been living in East Anglia long enough that I'm considered a native now. I've even started developing the webbing on my toes. That is a particularly English joke about people from Norfolk having webbed feet. I don't think it's a scam. I don't think it was. It's just, I think it does seem a bit shady. Legitimate business in a major city, one dude doing way too much work, yeah, and struggling to keep on top of things. Oh dear, spiders are woken up. Time to get the flamethrower out. See what shows up in the condition of the plants. Well, least if he's having if they're pre-ordering and he's ordering them in and shipping them straight out, they should be fairly healthy. So I'll be like a couple of days out of the warehouse. Hope spiders have many victories. Oh, that is the annoying thing with spiders, isn't it? They do eat the other bugs. Well, I've got to say, I've not had many spiders in this year. I've only had a couple. And I got those two straight away. I made the mistake of running out right in front of me when I had my slippers on. So they got stomped. They can all F off outside. Yeah, so for the UK big black wolf spiders, it's the females that are coming in looking for either a mate or somewhere to lay their eggs. Well, somewhere to hatch their sling, I think is the correct parlance. But yeah, they both went squish. Exactly. If they stay outside, nobody has a problem. You know, if they stay where they should, we're all gravy. I understand they're looking for a cave and they think a house is a cave, but you know,